Hey y'all, alrighty, as you can see, back in the garage, and I'm here with you, and I'm working on the 318 to mock up the accessory drive, the Magnum accessory drive system onto the front of this, because if I can get it to go in front of this, it'll be going on the front of this trash bag. No, I'm teasing. Um, this is the 360. So for those of you that don't know, but most of you know, but I'm making a template. I know, don't laugh. It's a template. It'll work. Okay. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going around and I'm cutting this piece of cardboard to fit everything. And I think I've got a pretty good plan here, okay? Because if I look right here, I've got bolt holes lining up down here and up here. Okay, so I've got some bolt holes lining up, and that's looking pretty good. Now, before anybody starts firing up their keyboard and starts criticizing how this looks and that this won't work and all of that, let's keep some things in mind. One, this is my first attempt at making a template like this. Okay, everything else I've ever done before is just I had an idea in my head and I started working to make it into metal. But I won't have this 90-degree cut right here in my bracket. Okay, that was just for convenience of making this template. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I make this into metal, I'm going to have this come down, and it's going to have a nice gentle curve into here. Okay, so the 4 holes up here are for the power steering pump. Okay, now if you want to know, okay, see this was a box that had potato chips in it. So you don't have to spend big huge money on how to fabricate stuff. You can spend little bitty bits of money on how to fabricate stuff. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now if you're doing it like this, if you're a first timer like me, let's keep a few things in mind. One, cut yourself tons of slack. If you're doing this sort of thing, you're putting together some parts that aren't necessarily meant to go together. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is you will probably have to tweak this. You will have to tune on this a little bit, especially once it's in metal. So that means you may have to enlarge a bolt hole. You may have to move the bolt hole around, elongate a bolt hole. You catch my drift. Okay, so my plan is that these 3 holes are going to bolt into my bracket. Okay, and these 2 holes here are going to bolt to down here. Okay, this hole here is going to bolt on to right there. Okay, so that way my power steering pump here will pivot off of this and we'll work on those. Okay, so that's the idea. All right, I'm not saying it's perfect, I'm not saying it's a great idea, I'm just saying that's the idea. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and start this in here, keep from losing this. Okay, but that's the idea, that's the general idea. So get yourself an old pair of scissors, marker, and a ball peen hammer, use that round tip and peck on the cardboard on these bolt holes, peck on the cardboard on these bolt holes, and knock out the center. See, that's what I did right here, here, and here. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get across to you. See, I lined these holes up, then I made my bracket, or made my template from my bracket. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all and give you all a little story on how that happens. If you have any questions about this, like why I'm doing it to begin with, feel free to comment down below. But yeah, feel free to comment down below, and I will try to answer your questions as best I possibly can. But yeah, this is going to work. I'm going to make it work. So that's what I'm saying. I might even fire up the 318 with this accessory drive on the front of it and make sure that everything is lining up and everything's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, maybe not, don't know. The thing of it is I want to keep carrying on with this, the 360, and I've kind of come to a point where I can't do much more to it. I've still got a couple of valve springs to change because, well, just go back and watch some of the previous videos, you'll see. But anyway, all right, enough of this. If you have, oh, son of a gun. I wanted to tell you that I truly do appreciate what you're doing by subscribing. There's a lot of you. Got a little something on my finger. I want to make sure I didn't get it on the camera tripod. There's a lot of you that have subscribed, and I seriously do appreciate it. But I really do, seriously do appreciate all that. And I wanted to share that with you all. But also too, some things about my last video doing the ball joint on the Dodge truck, the 04 Dodge Ram. There's been some questions about that. Let me clear some things. There's been some things nagging at me. Okay, one, the control arm, where you put your jack stand, put it in the jack, the hydraulic jack. Be sure to put that on the jacks, on the lower control arm where the spring is pushing down on. Okay, the control arm that's got the spring load on it. Okay, reason being is you want to keep that load, that control arm loaded with that spring. That spring is under tension, tremendous amount of pressure. If you unload it, it will flop down. It could hurt you. It could hurt something else or someone else if somebody's working with you. It could hurt some part of the control arm, and then that will set you back. So there's a kind of doubt it will, but if it does, you know, it's a possibility. Okay, it's just a good idea. Keep the spring loaded. Okay. And I also wanted to talk to you all about the, and that's just a little safety thing there about keeping that control arm loaded. But I also wanted to talk to you about the yoke part where the ball joint goes in at. Make sure that is generally, you know, round. If it's not as round as it could be, you could experience the ball joint coming out. Now that particular ball joint put in there has a clip that goes on it that will keep that from coming out or working out. But let's just be careful, okay? If that end of that control arm, that part where the ball joint goes in at, that yoke, if it looks like it's not perfectly round, it looks a little egg-shaped or something, it may come out. And if it does, you're going to know it. It's going to be disastrous. Okay? So, that's very important too. Another thing is when you're using a torch around the ball joint, anything like that, where you got rubber and that grease that's in the ball joint. In that case, there was not very much grease. It was more the rubber that was a problem than anything else. But any of that rubber catches on fire, it produces this thick, nasty black smoke. It is really, really, really just, it's bad. It is very bad. Do your very best. Don't breathe that shit in. It's horrible for you. I live in Tennessee. We are number 2 in the country for pollen and other sorts of allergens. It's not pretty here sometimes. So, what I want to stress to you is, be safe, be careful, pay attention what you're doing. Whether you're working with steel or fire or cardboard, whatever the case may be, pay attention, be careful, okay? Because, I want you to keep coming back and watching the videos again and subscribing and liking and everything, and I really, really appreciate that. I mean, we're over 300 subscribers, and it's just like, how? So, but I really do appreciate that, and seriously, I do. But I want you to keep coming back and watch more videos. But you can't do that if you get sick or you get hurt or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful, be safe, take precautions. Okay. There's a lot of stuff on vehicles that can hurt you, that can mess you up, and sometimes maybe even kill you. So yeah, let's get out the safety glasses. Let's use those. Use the safety gear. It's not expensive. It's not hard to get. You can do this. Okay. All right. Thank you. God bless, and have a great one.